Hey guys, welcome to another Mist of Darkness video, and this one is going to be slightly different than what you guys are used to on the channel. I wanted to do something special for ending off this year, and I decided that since we are ending a decade, basically, going into 2020, that I would do, a 2010 to 2020 type video for you guys. It's basically just going to be what I've accomplished, things I've done the past 10 years. A lot of it's going to be very geeky because WoW has been my life for like 15 years. So, if it seems like not much has been done, but a lot of gaming was done, that's totally accurate. Okay, so 2010 was a pretty busy year for me. I had started my business, and so there was quite a bit of money going into that, and I had saved some money to contribute to that from previous jobs, prior to 2010, and this was the first time I was really happy with my job. I'd gone, so many different jobs that made me miserable. Prior to 2010, I had taken a nursing course, and I got my certification for that. Did that for a while. I was forklift operator for a while, assistant manager at one of my jobs for quite some time, and just none of it satisfied me. Honestly, I found the more money I made, the more miserable I was, and I don't think it really was the making more money that was doing that. It was just with the nursing job, I was always on call. I could never plan anything. And the forklift, I enjoy driving the forklift, but I always had to target night jobs to do it because I hate people. I know that's funny. I'm like a content creator, right? But I don't see you guys all the time, right? Like, it's easier to be okay with people when you don't see them. Okay, so 2012, not a whole lot going on with me for 2012. Like I said, a lot of what I do is gaming, so a lot of it was thrown into gaming. And I remember when Panda released, Mark, my best friend, well, one of them, I have two, but one's, male best friend and the other's female best friend. And so we had decided to play together on day one. And I remember how laggy that place was. I remember being at the Panda starting area and basically not being able to find the quest giver because everyone was standing on them. That place was so packed. Oh yeah, that was, I would have to say, out of all the expansions, if I had to choose one that was the roughest starting, Panda for sure. That one was servers weren't crashing or anything, but it was slow. I've actually never, I've never had the servers crash on me on an expansion, and I've played day one of every single one. Okay, so 2014 was a little busier, and basically still had the business going, but was hitting a couple of bumps along the path there. So picked up the camp job to kind of contribute a bit to it. And of course that wasn't the reason. I was actually gonna stop doing the business to do the camp job, but I wanted a life. Basically, the camp job is I worked for a place called SNC Lavalin. Feel free to look it up if you want. There's actually a big scandal with them going on right now too. So yeah, something to do with, people digging into the funds a little too much. Yeah. But anyway, I worked for them. So this was a construction job. However, not everyone there did exactly the same thing. This was a company that employed 50,000 people all over the world, over 50,000 people all over the world. So it was a lot of different trade skills that everyone would have, but nonetheless, it was a construction job. I worked it out in Fort Mac, so I'd travel from Edmonton to Fort Mac. And actually, I guess I should tell you what Fort Mac is, because Fort Mac is like our slang for it, but it's Fort McMurray. It's a place in Alberta. I'd be out there for 21 days out to work, and then 7 days back home. And, that was the shift. And then it was 12-hour work days. So the 12-hour work days, that was fine. I was fine with 12 hours, but after a while, 21 days out, it can be a little much down the road. Basically, what would happen is, the last 3 days felt like a fucking lifetime. I was just, it's so hard to not count down the days. I tried. I'm like, okay, I just won't pay attention to it, and it'll fly by. And it would fly by the first week or two, but 21 days is a lot of time to be away from a lot of things, because you weren't near anything convenient. You were out in the middle of nowhere, right? There was a bus that I think it left on Tuesdays, if I remember right. And you could go into town for, I think it was 3 hours. But it also was a dry camp. So if you came back, smelling of booze, you basically lost your job. So I of course never did that. That's just stupid. I would never risk my job like that. But there were some. And so, of course, that meant, 21 days out there, not having a drink or, and don't get me wrong, I don't feel like I need a drink. But even as someone who doesn't even really drink that much, after 21 days, you want a fucking drink. I'm just saying. I guess it's just like when you're a kid and you're told you can't have something, right? The more you are told you can't have something, the more you want it. So I always wanted to drink, when I got home from this job. However, I will admit having 7 straight days off every month was really nice. It was, you were able to plan vacations and stuff. Okay, so one thing that the camp job did give me was friends. And I pretty much thank this one friend all the time for doing this one favor for me that has led to a much healthier lifestyle. And that is that working at the camp place was what led to me quitting smoking. And I had a friend there that vaped, and I hadn't heard of vaping. This was 2014. Vaping wasn't really that popular yet. And so he started me up. He was making his own juice and all that, and so he started me out on vaping, and so I was going half cigarettes, half vape for a while, and then eventually just completely dropped the cigarettes. Obviously, a great change in my life. One of the things I'm the most grateful for through this decade video is that I quit smoking. I'd been smoking since I was like 14. I picked up my first smoke at 13, and as you know, they're addictive. And yeah, at 14, I was smoking solidly, and I did not quit until 2014. So I was 35. So that is quite the length of time to be smoking. So I'll do the math for you. It's 21 years. 21 years I was a smoker. I tried numerous times to quit. There was a pill, there was the patch, there was the needle thing that they did, which I believe ended up being like a problem later on. I think they took it off the market or something. But yeah, I tried everything, and the only thing that worked was vaping. Now, if you are still smoking and you're now thinking of maybe doing this way, wean yourself off. Don't just quit smoking and start vaping. I did half. I would vape at night, smoke during the day, and then eventually the smokes became disgusting to me and I completely tossed them, and I've been only vaping for the past 5 years now. And of course, since my buddy was nice enough to help me, I paid it forward by introducing the vaping method to my roommate Mark, and he also quit. So we quit together. And he had smoked much longer than I had because he's older than me, right? So yeah, I don't know how long he had smoked, but I'm just gonna take a stab at it and say 30 years maybe. So I'm pretty sure he appreciated that as well. And, we were both heavy smokers. I believe he was at a pack a day, and I was at half a pack a day. So, yeah, when you do the math, it's a lot of smokes throughout that many years. And since then, I've helped a lot of my friends go towards the vape route. It's been 5 years now. I've, discovered new things over the years regarding vaping. I will never be that person that says vaping's 100% healthy, but I also believe it's gotta be healthier than, tar. Just saying. Okay, so 2016 was also a great year. This is the year I decided to start being a content creator. This is the year I started my YouTube channel, and it is also the year I started the Twitch channel. And it was a bit of a slow year. You know how it is, especially for a content creator. Typically, you don't already have a following when you do this stuff, so I had no following on YouTube. I had no following on Twitch. I was streaming basically for myself for a long time. Luckily, I talk to myself all the time, so it came very, very naturally. But this was the year that I started it. For streams, I was doing every Saturday. And for YouTube, it started as a few days a week, and it very quickly became daily. I've been a daily uploader on YouTube pretty much the past 3 years. Okay, so for 2017 was actually my best year for streams. Unfortunately, it faded after that. It was my best year because of Diablo. Diablo brought in a lot of views, and what ended that is I got tired of playing Diablo, basically. I'd gone ham on it for a good year. I was doing a minimum of 1,000 paragons every season, And eventually I got tired of the builds in Diablo and I wanted to return to my favorite game, which I hadn't really left, but I had stopped streaming it as much. And that return, I kind of had to make a decision there because Diablo did better than WoW by a long shot. Even those numbers you see there don't even do it justice because Diablo, yeah, they're saying 10 on average, but look at the graph. I was pulling in 30 to 45, and I remember pulling in 30 to 45 viewers. Like, that's not just numbers. I remember doing those numbers. And and that was also a time where people were hosting me. Like, since I went back to WoW, I find no one wants to host me anymore. People can't find me because I'm at the bottom of the list. And a lot of people just do not find WoW interesting to watch. And I don't blame them. I can't watch WoW either. I can watch the odd YouTube video, but to watch a World of Warcraft stream, yeah, you totally lost me, so I can see it with my viewers. It's just kind of unfortunate because I wanted to continue streaming, but I wanted to stream my favorite game, and that's WoW. So I kind of took the hit there by, streaming my favorite game, but losing viewers because of it. And as you can see, that didn't get better over time. The next 2 years dropped so bad because of WoW. And yeah, I just could not rise up. I'm still streaming, but you can see why I dropped the schedule. Because in 2017 and 2018, I still had a daily schedule going on. But 2019, I dropped that entirely. I stopped doing the schedule. I stopped putting any schedule whatsoever. People had no idea when I was showing up because I was done. I was so burnt out on trying to make it as a WoW streamer that it just started stressing me out, and I could not think of a way for people to see me in the WoW list. Like, I really just couldn't figure out a system to get noticed. And yeah, so that's kind of what happened there. I chose to basically bring it to what it was in the very beginning, a hobby. And a hobby doesn't have a schedule. No one expects you there when it's a hobby, right? So that's kind of how the streams are now. If we ever do, develop a following maybe on YouTube, then I might bring a schedule back. But yeah, for now, it's very up in the air when I stream and how often, and yeah. Just because I refuse to stream anything else. Like, WoW's my game. And at that point, I started focusing YouTube a lot more as well. And WoW does good on my YouTube channel. So it works. It's just unfortunate that streams couldn't do the same thing. I prefer YouTube, to be honest. I can do things on my own time. And as you can see by this picture right here, my random games actually do better on stream than WoW ever does. So stream-wise, it was always great to have random games over there and then have WoW over on YouTube. Okay, so for 2018, game-wise, not so hot, but 2018 overall was a really good year for me. So game-wise, we got BFA. I knew right away BFA was not going to be a hit. I knew it before it launched when I was playing the alpha on stream. I had mentioned it to a lot of people. They didn't quite believe me. They're like, oh, it'll be great. But as it usually is, give people time and they'll see that once again you were right. Right? So, they didn't believe right away, but they certainly believed me afterwards. So there was that. I still played it, of course. I'm a WoW addict, so it doesn't matter if it's bad or not. I'll make it good. So this might have not been the greatest game, but some great things did happen this year. This year, just before Christmas in 2018, I had met my boyfriend. And actually, I'm editing this video on our 1-year anniversary, which is today, December 11th. So yeah, we've been together for a year now. We're in totally different countries, but we have passports and we visit each other. And then there was also my best friend's wedding. I mentioned earlier in the video that I have 2 best friends. One's a male, one's a female. This is the female. I actually never thought she would ever get married. So this came as a complete shock. Mainly because she was always a heavy-duty partier. She didn't like to commit to anything, really. But yeah, so that was the year of her wedding. She got married on July 13th, which is hilarious because my boyfriend, that's actually his birthday. So it was an interesting year. Yeah, interesting year. So I guess it makes it easy to remember that day. God help me if I forget that date, because if I forget that date, I am forgetting the boyfriend's birthday and the best friend's anniversary. So yeah, yep. And I am not the typical woman. Like my boyfriend tells me all the time that I'm horrible with dates, because I am. He remembers all the important shit way better than I do. Like, I had to ask him when our anniversary was. So it is written. I got put in the calendar, so I cannot get in trouble. I'll always remember it. But yeah, I am the worst with dates. And she chose that date because she loves Halloween more than most people love Christmas. Like, Halloween is her ultimate celebration. So she wanted to get married on a scary day. And July 13th of that year was a Friday the 13th. We took pictures of us, like, in the woods getting chased down. And, like, it was, it was a cool idea, but also an idea that I was not shocked she would pick, just because I know her. Okay, so we are on the last year of the decade, 2019. And 2019, I would have to say, out of all the years, even the quitting smoking year, I would say 2019 was my best year. And I'll tell you why. So 2019, unfortunately, we're still in BFA, but we did get the Shadowlands announcement. So there is that. A big change in the game system. Not sure how I feel about it, but maybe it will, change the way of WoW, and we'll see some great things, right? Maybe it'll spark up a relove of WoW. Not that I ever stopped, but you know what I mean. This was when I met my boyfriend for the first time. I know it took a while. It definitely took a while. Depression is something that I've been dealing with for well over this 10 years. I'm not even going to admit how long I've had the depression. It's a long time, guys. Let's just say that. It's a long time. Most of my life. And because I refuse to medicate myself and all that, I've been dealing with it on my own. And in the beginning, dealing with it on my own was really, really tough, really tough. And then WoW came around, and that was how I dealt with it. You know, it wasn't the best way. I isolated myself a lot, became antisocial, yeah. But it is what got me through it. That might have taken a lot of years, but now I feel good. I do feel like the depression is still slightly there, and honestly, I think it's always gonna be. My depression doesn't come from, one bad thing happening in life. It comes from like a good 10 really, really bad things happening in life. So it's something that definitely doctors wanted me to medicate to deal with. But I am an extremely stubborn person, and I do not like to accept help. And that's basically it. I'm still like that till this day. And I was like that, with the depression. And that's just how I am. So I refused everything. I chose to just deal with it on my own. Luckily, he came into the picture at a time where the depression wasn't as bad as it had been in the past. My antisocialness was doing better. It was also a big reason I started streaming and doing YouTube, was to kind of like get back into the socialness of things. One thing that happened to me for the depression anyway was that I stopped giving a shit what people thought, which also meant I stopped caring about people. So the relationship was a little different for me. It was one of the biggest reasons I had stayed single for a while, is that I just didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about a whole lot for a long time. And that just might be from me dealing with it for so long by myself. I know not all depressed people are like that. There's a lot of depressed people that need people. Me, I just got so used to isolating myself that eventually I was like, I don't need you. And over the years of, reminding myself that I don't need anyone, it just worsened and worsened and worsened. And before you knew it, I was like, fuck y'all, I'm going to do my own thing, and I'll be over here where you don't know where I am, Okay, so enough about that. Let's get into the good stuff. So this was the year of Blizzcon, like I mentioned before, and I got to meet the boyfriend for the first time, and I also met Drofaz, who is my best gaming buddy on the internet. So that was really awesome. Blizzcon was fucking awesome, and I just had a blast. I really wanted to go this year for a couple of reasons. One, I'd been wanting to go for like ever. 2, it was the 15th anniversary for World of Warcraft. So I just thought it was really fitting. And now I think it was even more fitting now that Shadowlands has been confirmed. It's kind of like the end of WoW in a sense. They're redoing shit. As much as I can redo shit with retail, I still have my bad feelings with Shadowlands. I still think it's gonna be kind of a flop, but they're trying. So, with that said, the third reason comes into effect, and it's because I feel like we are at the end of WoW. And I don't mean the end of WoW and then Shadowlands rolls around. I think we are at the end. I think there is no point of return here. There is nothing they can do to fix the system. They are catering to casual players. You know, they listen to the forums way too much. They're listening to top-end streamers way too much. So all we need is them to shout out some bullshit, and then we have a bullshit expansion. So, without raging here, I wanted to go to Blizzcon for the sole reason that this might actually be the time I quit. Lately, through BFA sucked hardcore. I kept playing it because of my mount collection and my achievement collection. I am gonna buy Shadowlands, and I'm gonna see what it has to offer us. But honestly, I can't handle 2 bad expansions in a row. I'm a person that doesn't hate on expansions, and until BFA rolled around, I was fine with all of them, even WoD. I don't have hate for WoD like other people do. So this is it. If Shadowlands sucks, you know, my time of WoW is done. Which seems so weird to even think of. I never thought I would ever leave WoW. I've been playing WoW since 2004. Honestly, I only had one thing I hated with BFA, but it was enough to hate the entire expansion. And that was that I could go raid, do mythic pluses, get my gear, and then some casual that's never played WoW before loads up the game, gets their boost, levels to 120, does world quests, and has the same gear score as me. So as long as that is not a thing in Shadowlands, then I may not leave WoW. But if that continues to be a thing, then I'm literally just a collector in WoW. I'm not actually playing the expansion. And at that point, why am I even continuing to play it? So I guess we'll just see what Shadowlands ends up being and decide from there. 2019 also brought us the D4 reveal, which is a great one as well. And that definitely striked up a lot of hype at BlizzCon, and I'm looking forward to that one as well. And I think that covers it. I hope I haven't missed anything. I might have, though. You know, thinking back to things you've done is, you know, unless they really stand out, it's not the easiest. You know, this is, you know, I'm getting older. You know, I guess speaking of older, my 40th birthday was part of the 2019 as well. I was not looking forward to turning 40. I wanted to kind of do my own thing. Originally, that was supposed to be the first meet for the boyfriend was in June, because my birthday's on June 11th, and I had postponed it till BlizzCon. So yeah, it was supposed to be June, but I didn't want to do anything for my 40th. You know, I was okay with celebrating it, but I just wanted to kind of, you know, chill out in my own house and do my own thing. And yeah. Now, I know I've been running a lot of cinematics for, you know, some video watching entertainment here. And, you know, I muted it so that I don't, you know, you're not hearing my voice over a bunch of talking. I hate talking over, like, movies and TV shows or cinematic shit like that. So what I decided to do is I came up with another idea for a video while I was actually doing this video. And for those that want to actually watch these cinematics, I'm going to post a video right after. Actually, we'll do 2 sets of videos right after. So it's going to be a busy video upload day today. I will have 3 showing up, including this one. So after this posts, I'm going to post a video that I don't know what we're going to call it, but it will have all the expansion cinematics for World of Warcraft, including vanilla. So I know vanilla's not an expansion, but all the game cinematics. And then since we had Diablo at the end, I will do one for Diablo. So yeah, that calls it for this video. Hopefully it didn't go too long. I don't know how much I'll be editing out, so it could be anywhere between a 30 to 40 minute video. But I hope you enjoyed. It's, sometimes it's tough to make a short video when you're talking about like shit you've done for the past 10 years. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. And just thanks for listening to my videos, because, you guys are part of my healing process. And, I mentioned a bit before, regarding the depression, but the past 3 years, that's when I started feeling good. When I decided to start doing videos on YouTube and streaming, and like that began the healing process. I hadn't felt that good in a long time. And so I thank you guys for that, because those of you that hang with me in streams, those that have become my friend on the internet, and those that, comment every so often on my YouTube videos saying, I love the WoW content, please do more. I've gotten quite a few of those, and you have no idea how much that means to me. I love that you guys are enjoying the content on the channel, whether it's WoW or the oddball random game that I put on. And I hope the best for you guys. So have a great Christmas, have a great New Year's, and have a great new decade. And, if you want, leave a comment. Tell me what your best thing you did this decade was. Maybe there's something you're proud of, kind of like my quit smoking, right? And that's all I got for you guys. Have a great one. Bye.